Hello, I am Brenda Warren. Did you know everyone has a story? I served 20 years on active duty in the United States Marine Corps before I retired as a gunnery sergeant in 2000. It was my dream come true when I joined the Marines in June of 1980. I had no idea about the legacy or the shoulders of giants on which I stood. I simply wanted to be part of one of the greatest fighting forces known to man. Imagine my surprise when I discovered my ability to become one of the few, the proud, a Marine started before I was even born. The amazing men who fought for their right to fight despite the many obstacles would set the stage for me and many others to proudly wear the much cherished eagle, globe, and anchor insignia, which symbolize you have become a part of the best of the best. Marines are known for their bravery and willingness to fight the good fight, winning against all odds. The Montford Point Marines did this despite racial prejudice in their camps and outside community, poor housing, and the initial lack of confidence in their abilities, as well as the general held view that they did not belong. The brave souls that would endure every obstacle thrown at them paved the way for me and many others to have successful military journeys as they served with distinction. Listen in as my fellow veteran, Corey Warren, shares their story with you.
Montford Point Marines, a legacy of outstanding perseverance and courage that inspired social change. On 23 November 2011, the 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, signed into law a bill to award the Congressional Gold Medal to the Montford Point Marines. The Congressional Gold Medal is the nation's highest civilian honor for distinguished achievement. The Montford Point Marines were the first African Americans to enlist in the United States Marine Corps after President Franklin Roosevelt issued an executive order establishing the Fair Employment Practices Commission in June 1941. From 1942 through 1949, nearly 20,000 African American men from across America came to the Montford Point camp in Jacksonville, North Carolina, seeking the American dream of inclusion and the opportunity to defend our country as a United States Marine. Like the wider society at large that was socially and culturally divided by race, the Marine Corps trained these men separately, denying them their rightful place in the Corps and in its rich tradition of service. Every aspect of their training was segregated from their white counterparts. They were housed in prefabricated huts, and railroad tracks separated white residents from the training camp. They were only permitted on the main base of Camp Lejeune if they were escorted by a white Marine. Despite this treatment, these men served in battle, provided critical supplies to those on the front lines, and evacuated the wounded to safety. They did their jobs with professionalism and ably provided their courage in epic battles of the Pacific like Saipan, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. Because these men persevered, the Marine Corps underwent a social awakening that laid the foundation for greater equality and opportunity. Many Montford Point Marines carried their exceptional strength of character through their lives outside the Marine Corps, becoming leaders in their communities, mayors, ambassadors, educators, lawyers, ministers, and doctors. Some went on to integrate the shipyards of America, weaving equality and opportunity into the fabric of our society. Their story is one of triumph over adversity. Their legacy of courage and perseverance is an inspiration to all Marines and all military service members. The diversity of today's Marine Corps was paved in large part by the selfless dedication to duty of the Montford Point Marines. Few of these heroes remain today. Of the nearly 20,000 African American Marines who went through Montford Point at the time their heroic bravery was acknowledged, less than 200 still survive. The Congressional Gold Medal will honor all Montford Point Marines from a grateful nation and Marine Corps. This recognition was made possible through the dedication and persistent work of the Montford Point Marine Association, numerous active, reserve, retired, and civilian Marines, and the faithfulness of members of Congress. The legacy of the Montford Point Marines is yet another story in American history with chapters still to be written.
Wow. Can you believe these hero stories were almost unheard of despite their sacrifices and heroic actions? Who Was the First Marine is one of the stories I have enjoyed uncovering. On June 1st, 1942, Monday morning, 1 minute after midnight, Alfred Masters was sworn into the armed services as the first Black Marine. In Texas, however, another young man, Howard P. Perry, was inducted 1 minute after 8 a.m. as the first Black Marine. Alfred's name is always listed first, which has been a bit of a controversy. The truth is, there are many stories waiting to be discovered, and all we have to do is a little research. I'm happy to share the stories, and the legacy continues. In 1976, when young Perry Jenkins joined the Marines, trained at and in 2000 retired from Camp Johnson, the former Camp Montford Point, he was not fully aware of the rich history or legacy of the Montford Point Marines and the impact they had and would have on his own life story. However, discovering their influence, he knew he would have to continue being a part of this ever unfolding story, ensuring these pioneers would never be forgotten. On the 80th anniversary of the Montford Point Marines in August of 2022, retired Chief Warrant Officer 4 Perry Jenkins was granted the charter that formed a new Montford Point Marine Association, chapter number 47 in Charleston, South Carolina. Chief Warrant Officer Jenkins and his lovely wife Kathy diligently continue raising awareness through community outreach, serving our veteran community, supporting education through scholarship, and preserving the legacy of the Montford Point Marines. Many stories still need to be told. They are encouraged when they discover new stories as new members join this chapter. Through photographic and written records, new and old stories come to light. Are you ready to become a part of the legacy so you can help them write the stories that have yet to be written? You can become a part of a movement to honor our past as we prepare for our future that encourages all of our service members to serve with honor, perseverance, and pride. We're calling all veterans or active duty members of any branch of the United States Armed Forces, regardless of race, creed, or natural origin, to become a part of this rich heritage. We invite you to join the Montford Point Marine Association, Chapter 47, Charleston, South Carolina, by emailing president.chsmpma@gmail.com. Remember, we are stronger together.